Hey there folks, and welcome back for another video. I'm your host CDB or Chris, and today we're going to do a video with things that I don't use a ton and things that might be a little difficult. I'm challenging myself a little bit, and I'm challenged already because I am very much under the weather still. So I'm trying to enjoy myself with a shave and just get a little bit of that zen that a good shave provides. But will we or won't we? We shall see. We're going to use Williams mug soap because I've had requests to use that. Now, I have had some success lathering Williams in the past, but it is difficult and sometimes it doesn't cooperate. And so keep that in mind. And to further complicate it, you know me, I don't use a ton of natural hair brushes. We're going to use the Zenith Boar, which I love the way it looks, but the first time out with it was quite scrubby. And by the way, the Williams puck is completely dry. It hasn't been soaking or anything like that. So the first thing I'm going to do is just sort of put some on my face, sort of like a pre-shave to sort of help with that. And then I'm just going to lather on this puck a little bit and see what we can do. I'm not going to show you the ingredients and all that for Williams. You know, it's very inexpensive. It is not widely regarded to be a great soap, the new versions of this. So what I'm going to do here is just sort of this right here. Do swirls and load this brush really heavy. I'm going to do it down here so it's easier for me to do. Anyway, I was talking earlier with CD Shaving Murphy. I'll roll in a pic of him there. We were just discussing shaving and making videos and things like that. If you haven't checked out his channel, please go do so. He does this cool thing where he does a profile. I'm going to add some water to my brush here. Of the soap and history and holiday of the day and all kinds of pretty cool stuff. And you see, here's what's happening in my hand. It always starts out foamy, Williams mug soap, and a lot of times it stays foamy. Now I can fix this lather immediately. All I have to do is give a burst of head slick to it, a little squirt, but I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to go with the Williams as it is. And I think the thing you really have to do with Williams is just load the mess out of it. And I'm going to get a serviceable lather. It's not going to be a great lather. I'll tell you that right now. The scent on this is kind of like a citronella type, lemony-ish sort of scent. And you can see we've got mostly a bunch of foam. I'll slap that on my face and use it. But I might have to revisit this puck during the shave as well. It doesn't really load onto the brush all that great. What happens is instead of the brush picking it up, it just sort of creates a foam. And I think that's part of the issue with Williams. But I'm going to set that down in my bowl for a minute and wet the face a little bit. And we're just going to go ahead and get started and see what happens. By the way, I didn't even tell you the razor I'm going to be using. You don't see a lot of these on my channel. Injector, primarily because I just don't want to have another sort of blade laying around. I'm gonna rub some of this foam on my face just because why waste it, you know. Again, it's not going to be the upper echelon of quality of shaving, but we will hope to get a serviceable shave out of it. That's what I'm shooting for, serviceable. Meaning, you know I'm not gonna have a great post. I'm just hoping to get a shave with no problems and be reasonably efficient with it. And again, using stuff I don't use a lot, so you know, I'm asking people to get out of their comfort zone a little bit, and I'm doing the same. Because normally, you know, these aren't products that I would showcase. Again, the injectors are great. I really like the Type G, but I can't find my Type G. And the only one I could find was this adjustable, which Don the Navy Goat sent me. I can't find the, let's get some more water. My Type G, which is my favorite injector. I think I have the Schick, I think Corona or something like that blade in here. And as you can see here, the lather, you know, it's not going to be terrific. It's just going to be serviceable. I have worked it enough in the past for it to be decent. But it's not going to be fantastic. Let's just, who are we kidding? This is, you know, newer, this is not vintage Williams. This is the new stuff that just doesn't lather very well. I saw Michael Freeberg using the Williams. I'm going to go to the puck a little bit more. I saw Michael Freeberg using the Williams stick, which worked quite well for him. And by the way, thank you, Michael, for all your videos. Mike said he was not going to make videos anymore, but he was still going to participate in the community. So thanks, Michael, for all your contributions. And he will still be contributing, which is really good. But we wish him, good luck in all his endeavors and so forth. He made great videos, some great tutorials on lathering and really all kinds of stuff. So it's really nice. Okay, we just about have a serviceable lather. Not fantastic, not great by any stretch, but it's a lather. And we'll see if it's a functional lather, and it should be. The thing is, I think I'm gonna have to go through this each time because there's not enough in the brush, because it just doesn't, for one, that wouldn't be my brush of choice. It's not broken in. It's a little better than it was because I've been working with it a little bit, but it's still not, what I would like it to be. So there is that. Okay, let's get going with our adjustable injector razor. This is Schick adjustable. I got it on 7 on the setting, which I think is max or pretty close to it, if not. And very nice and smooth. No problems. There's actually some decent slickness there. It's not horrible. It's not horrible. It's just not a great quality soap relative to, say, Mitchell's Wolfat or some of the other soaps, harder type soaps, or of course the artisan stuff that we have access to, or even your creams like Mitchell's Wolfat, and it's just not of that caliber. The new stuff, the stuff that is produced today, but it will get you through in a pinch. And I remember my grandfather using Williams in a Old Spice mug, and that brush clacking around in the mug, which is pretty cool. But I must say the injector here is feeling pretty good. I mean, the shave in terms of the way it feels, no problem. It is not the greatest quality lather, obviously, but we didn't expect that when we went into it. If you expect the type of lather you're going to get from a modern shaving soap, you're probably not going to get it. Now, if you work it long enough, you can beat it into submission, but I'm not going to make a 45-minute video trying to beat this Williams mug soap into submission. I saw Chris from Another Cut Above, and he was using Mitchell's Wolfat, and basically that's what he said was his method to whip it into shape, because you can start out with Mitchell's Wolfat and it's a little rough at the beginning, but if you continue to work it, it gets better. The same thing with this. However, this is not a soap that is in the league of Mitchell's Wolfat. Do not take that to mean that this soap you can create the same level of lather as Mitchell's Wolfat, because from my perspective, that's not going to happen. This is just not a high caliber soap. That said, it does work. And if at the end of the shave, we have no creepers, weepers, cuts, irritation, then we're going to call it a good shave. And that's my measurement. How did the shave go? Does your face feel okay afterwards? Did you get a bunch of cuts, creepers, weepers? If the answer is no and your face feels great, you got a nice, reasonably comfortable and close shave, then you got a good shave. And that is my bar for how I evaluate a shave and the soap performance, not the way the lather looks on your face, because this one isn't going to look very good. All right, it is. Is it providing that barrier? And I saw a con last night from the Stray Whisker, and he did a video on how to lather, and he made a very, very good point, which is you're not trying to create a Santa Claus-like beard. You're trying to create a barrier for that razor to glide over, and a layer of protection. That's what lathering is about. It is not about the most beautiful on-camera lather. It's about what allows that razor to do its job without irritating you or cutting you, and so on and so forth. So please keep that in mind. That's a terrific point, and I've been making similar points for some time. But that said, making cracking, I think he says, lathers, as Chris said, is a point of pride for a lot of people. They really like to get that great glistening lather, and I agree, it is phenomenal when you do that. It's a point of pride for people, but don't make the mistake of thinking that if your lather doesn't look a certain way, that it will not work properly. Now that said, if it's razor thin, and bubbly and so on, it's probably not going to work that great. But I will say, one thing to consider, there are products like this head slick over here that I could put it on with my hands and you could see very little of it and I would get a perfect shave. So you don't have to have that Santa Claus-like beard that Con was talking about in his video. And by the way, his production on his videos are out of this world. You must go see Con from the Stray Whiskers videos if you've never seen him. And I think he's getting back into making videos, which I think is great for the community because his production level is just terrific. And I like Con. He's from Australia, like Chris, from another cut above. That's my poor way of imitating Chris there. I like Chris's videos because he throws in things about life and so forth and little, tidbits of information. It's not just straight shave geekery, which is pretty cool. By the way, this Williams is doing just fine. I'm not having any issues with it. The razor's gliding along the way it's supposed to. This Schick adjustable feels pretty good, actually. Better than I remember, to tell you the truth. I'm not having any issues at all with the Williams at this point in time. So, take that for whatever it's worth. Let's wet the face here a little bit. Again, it's not going to be your, upper echelon caliber shave in post. Don't expect it, but if you have it and you want to try it and give it a go, then, give it a go and see what you can do with it. It's worth trying. Everything's worth trying, and revisiting to see if your technique has gotten better. Because I think a lot of times technique trumps everything, And you will know what type of lather you need, whether you need that. I don't think most people need the Santa Claus beard, but you might. And so you'll know over time and experience the type of lather that you need, be it the full-on thick Santa Claus beard or be it a little more wet, glistening, type of photographic lather that you see a lot of guys with their brushes. They take pictures of their lather because they're very proud of it, and they should be. They spend time working at their hobby and perfecting the way that they lather. And each person can really have a different style of lathering. I have my own style. I don't go for the absolute thickest, wettest, I just go for what works for the shave. And you just sort of know what it is. Can't really describe it to you. I just know at a certain point, the way the lather feels on my face, that it's going to be adequate for my needs. And you will learn also. And of course, if you're a veteran wet shaver, you already know this, but it is fun to work lather and to beat it into that really beautiful consistency. That's fun. Not required for most people, but it's fun. And so sometimes I'll do it. Most times I don't, just in the interest of trying to keep the video time down. I try to be cognizant of your time. And so, okay, let us go with our final pass. And I will say my hands are slippery from this Williams. There is some slickness to it. I don't think it's going to do much on the post. Like, it's not going to be terrific, but it works. And the brush has performed better for me today. We've gotten a serviceable lather out of the Williams. It has done what it's supposed to do. It's not pretty. It's not beautiful. It's not anything to write home about. It's nothing I'm going to be bragging about. But let's check back at the end of the shave and see how we've done. And if it has turned out to be a good shave, then big thumbs up, So you don't have to have a $5 plus an ounce soap to get a great shave. You just don't need it. You may want it, and you may enjoy the benefits of the post and the terrific ingredients, the skin nourishing ingredients. You may want those things, but most people don't have to have it. And so one of the things I'm really concerned about is the price of entry for new people. If they come to start out in the hobby and all they see are $25, $30 shaving soaps, they're going to be like, woo, maybe that's not a hobby for me. And so I really like it when we're seeing like Central Texas, it's like $11 and something for 5 ounces, I want to say, at West Coast. I really like that because the price of entry is low for new people. And they can get in and get a quality product for not a ton of money. And so I like that. I think it's terrific. All right. So I think we've done okay. It wasn't the best shave of my life in terms of, Williams is just not the greatest. But serviceable. Did what it was supposed to do. Let us rinse and come back and we'll do a post. Stay tuned. And all right, here we are back with the magic made by witches. And by the way, the shave was fine. I had to spend a little bit of time to get that Mitchell's Wolfhat, or excuse me, not Mitchell's Wolfhat. I wish it were Mitchell's Wolfhat. The Williams off my face. There was a good bit of sheen on there, a slickness that, it works. I mean, it's not great, but it works. And of course, there was your Thayers, which I have another bottle on standby, so have no fear. Quick look at the gear we use today. We have the Schick adjustable injector razor, which you don't see often on my channel. It did a good job today. No problems whatsoever. We use the Williams mug soap. No problem whatsoever with it. Is it great? No. It's going to give you a great post? No. Do you have to really work with it to get any sort of lather out of it? Yeah, but it did its job. Really nice shave. No cuts, creepers, weepers, irritation. Nothing to argue with. Very, very cheap too. And we used our Zenith Boar brush. It's getting better. I'm going to keep working with this brush because I love the handle. And I think today was much better than the first time I used it. So I'm going to keep working with it and see if we can't just break it in and see how it goes. And we're going to finish off today with the Aqua Velva, sort of old school soap. So we'll use an old school aftershave as well. I hope everyone is having a great day whenever you're watching this. Whew. Nice, classic, powdery Aqua Velva Ice Blue. I love these inexpensive aftershaves like this. It just does what it needs to do for me. I don't need 100,000 nourishing ingredients, and that some people do. I just don't. And so for my use case, it's beautiful stuff. I love it. I want to thank everybody so much for joining me. I really appreciate those of you who have come back, who took a hiatus from the channel because you didn't care for the content at the time. Thanks so much for coming back. It means a lot to me. Thanks so much for the supporters. Thanks to everyone. I really appreciate it. Until next time, I have been your host, CDB, and I am reminding you, it's your shave, do it your way, and God bless.